It was said during the presentation that technological advancement is disturbing the universe, and it relates to geoengineering. Could you elaborate a little bit on that, how that is happening?
Human technology is disturbing the atmosphere and the climate, but we've been doing that for about 10,000 years since we started doing agriculture, and have been affecting the climate in a big way all that time. But it's gotten quite a lot more significant in the last 200 years, and even more significant than that in the last 50 years, and so on. To right now, you're getting an economic takeoff in the developing world. They're going to be using a lot more energy. So far, a lot of that is being used in coal. Greenhouse gases are multiplying, and the climate is responding pretty much as predicted it would. So now the question is, can we move technology ahead to offset what the previous technology acceleration has unleashed? And I think we can.
Would that include prohibiting the development of the United States, though, economically?
No, not even remotely. Stopping economic development is, I know, a agenda of some of my fellow environmentalists, and I think, one, it's actually unjust, because a lot of people are getting out of poverty for the first time, and to say, no, stay in poverty because poverty is so green, is not something we can say. And furthermore, attempts to stop economic growth in the past have always failed. So economic growth will continue unless and until we have a disaster. Well, we may have disasters from climate change. And so the much greater economic threat comes from bad things happening with the climate than bad things happening from attempts at mitigation.
Now, we see some in the White House, John Holdren, for example, the director of the White House Office of Science and Technology, in some of his past work, he's talked of, quote, a world of zero net physical growth and reducing material consumption and limiting population growth as ways to help the environment. Do you reject those ideas, or do you think those ideas play into geoengineering at all?
All of that's happening anyway. We're doing more with less all the time. Everything that is in the information technology domain gets lots more done with lots less energy and materials than it was back in the strictly mechanical industrial period. Population is leveling off rapidly, and by the second half of the century, the population crisis will be seen as not enough people, as we're already seeing in many European countries. So in a sense, what John Holdren was saying should be a program back 30 years ago has actually come to pass without it even actually being a program.
So you don't think that the stuff that he talked about could even be done now?
It's not a question of being done, it's just happening. We are using less material for any economic event. We're using less energy for any economic event. And there are fewer and fewer people, to where over half of the nations in the world now have a below replacement birth rate. So we'll level off probably below 9 billion and then head down from there. I think it's great that the program that John Holdren was pushing back then didn't have to be pushed. It actually was a window into the future.